Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live on Neevesknives. My lovely wife, Kara, is not going to be joining us tonight. But don't forget to all the Bang Gang Squad members, we do have a Bang Gang live tomorrow. So that should be pretty interesting, a live sharpening for the Bang Gang members. I haven't decided yet exactly what we are going to sharpen or what exactly we are going to do, but we'll figure it out. I'll probably come up with a plan tonight. I thought about doing recurves, but I have a full video coming soon on recurves, so maybe that's not the best idea. We'll figure it out, though. Anyways, I see we have a time traveler in here, and that's interesting for sure. Andy is here from the future. So I did link a bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about today in the description, because I get a lot of messages like afterwards, and stuff when people watch the videos. What's going on, Shane? So, but what we're going to do after, we're going to talk a little bit of knives, obviously. We do have a cool story for story time, but we're going to check out some pocket dumps on Instagram and kind of just check them out. Sometimes I think it's cool to just check out what other people are carrying, what they have in their pockets, and some of the other little cool items that they have in their pockets. So let's just get to that really quick. And then, you know what? Actually, let's talk a little bit of knives first while people are coming in here. Oh yeah, and don't forget, guys, early access to the Andar wallet. I do have that link below. This is a pretty cool wallet. I actually like it a lot. I'm glad I get to replace it because my old one was going to shit, man. Not that the wallet was falling apart or anything. The wallet was in good condition, but I just have been through so much with it. Been wet so many times, and just, wallets only last so long. So, and I like to replace mine like once a year. I don't think that's a bad average, once a year on a wallet. Sometimes, I have been known to carry one for a little bit too long, but this one, man, really durable because it has the plastic insert inside of it. But this little button makes it super easy to pop your cards out. So it carries up to 7 cards, so you can easily just, crack that over and grab whatever cards you need. And I like how it kind of throws them up like in a row, kind of, where you can easily get to which one you want. My other one, I had to pull them all out at the same time and then figure out which one I wanted. And I think it holds up to 15 bills in the back. But and then it has this little thing in the front. I don't even know what that's for. Maybe an extra card, I guess. You can put an extra card there. But awesome. And like I said, my link gets you early access and then 25% off the entire store for at least till the 15th. All right, so I actually wanted to talk a little bit about LC200N. So, I haven't been able to do a lot of testing because, you guys know my injury, but which is doing pretty good. So, but LC200N, I've always liked the steel. Now, what's weird about it to me is that when you look up, or at least when I've looked up, the charts with the edge retention is always over dramatized, I think, or they make it seem better than it is. And I'm not saying LC200N's edge retention is bad, but at least from the graphs that I've seen, at least that I can remember, it always seemed like they put it higher than it actually is. It's kind of weird because they do the opposite with 14C. They put 14C really low and they put this really high, which both of them are like different. Like, so this one's lower and 14C is higher. I would actually say, to be honest, that LC200N's edge retention reminds me a lot of 14C or 154CM. That's basically what I get from it personally, is about that from, the majority of the testing that I've done with it. Now, this one, I haven't been able to go crazy on testing with this or anything, but that's what I'm expecting. Now, it does take a really good edge, and, between like 14C and 154, they both hold a really good edge. Now, the one beauty, in my opinion, to those steels is how responsive they are to strops. So you can go throughout your day, you know, use it and then come home and strop it, and it will bring your edge, especially your fine edge, back like crazy good, which then in return lets you get more edge out of it, right? Some steels maybe not are not as responsive to stropping, so you're not going to be able to just do a couple passes on the strop and bring it right back and then, you know, get more out of it. Not saying you can't always touch up your edge, because every steel you can touch up your edge, but it's how responsive it is. Hey, Dennis. He became a Bang Gang member. We do have Bang Gang member shirts coming. Oh man, that's what I forgot to put in the chat. I forgot to put, or in the description, I forgot to put the shirts in there. We do have, if you guys follow us on Instagram, we have a link tree now to our merch, and we got a really cool shirt. I actually have one right here. Let me grab it. We're going to do another one with a hat on the top where it has Neevesknives on the hat. Don't worry, I'm going to get back to LC200N. These are on the merch store, though. I think they're pretty cool. I can't wait for the one with the hat on it. Anyways, but you can find those through our link tree on Instagram. Hey, there's Mike Emler. My laptop crapped out. I picked up a I'll pick up a replacement tomorrow. Awesome. Yeah, that sucks, man. It sucks when one of your electronics goes out, man. Especially for somebody like us, it can be detrimental. Anyways, LC200M. So I like how easily it sharpens. That's another thing. It sharpens up very easily. Not as easy as 14C, in my opinion. Hey, Talica! With the two bones. Oh, I thought you were about to say you broke your thumb. You broke your thumb stud on the Benza splitting wood. I seen the video of you breaking down some wood. I was going to say you should unlock it anytime. Like, you know, do whatever you want. But if you don't want to risk your lock bar, unlock it and shove the blade in like that and baton, so that it's not putting pressure on your lock bar as far as frame locks and liner locks goes. But yeah, that sucks, man. We'll have to put another one in. Those things are easy to get and replace anyways, though, so it's not that big of a deal. Plus those ones, you know why though too, why that broke off is because those replacement ones are screwed in and the screws aren't that big. The original ones are pressed in, so they're very, very strong. The replacement ones are not pressed in, they're screwed in, so it is what it is. But hey, at least you were using your shit. Bit the bullet and ordered an Abyss. Nice. Yeah, I've got a few messages recently of people that bit the bullet, so to speak, and made some purchases, which is awesome, man. I think that's great. So who was it? Somebody earlier told me that they because you know not everybody's budget's the same, but I also know that sometimes, like, as I remember myself, you know, like my rake purchase or even, you know, like a KIZER or something was just the same as somebody else buying an Abyss or something. So like I'd go back and forth on a KIZER for like 7 days, you know. It'd be in my search history. I just keep going back and looking at it. Then finally it's like, damn it, I'm doing it. You know, and it's almost like everybody in the neighborhood hears the alarm because I'm screaming I'm going to do it. Everybody thinks something bad's happening when it really, in reality, something great is happening. But yeah, it was earlier somebody, they bought a BEGLEITER finally, and they'd wanted one for a while, and they finally got one. The BEGLEITER 2s, man, we're gonna talk about the BEGLEITERs here in a minute. But LC200N, man, sharpens up really good. Like I said, not as easy as 14C, but it still sharpens up pretty easily. The beauty of it, though, is that you're going to get the edge retention of, like I said, like 154 cm, 14C. It's a little bit less, in my opinion, than like S35. You're not going to get like S35 edge retention or S30V, but you'll get a good edge retention, and it's so corrosion resistant, you don't have to worry about it like with other steels. Like even with 14C, as stainless as it is, you start cutting limes with it and you leave it, it's gonna corrode. that goes for most steels. Now with LC200N, you're not really gonna have to worry about. Now, that's not saying don't keep it dry. Don't still wipe it off, still oil it, but it's about as stainless as you can get, damn near corrosion proof. But yeah, great steel. I do like it quite a bit. I wish we seen it more. We don't see it too often, do we? But this is the Spyderco Chef for anybody who doesn't know. Awesome, awesome knife, titanium frame lock. It is an incredible knife. It's one of those knives that like I put it on my one and done list because it is that kind of knife. It is a knife you could get and you could do perfectly fine with a knife like this. But and I did link it down in the description. They're a bit pricey though, not cheap at all. Jim Q's back from vacay. Nick says you have to remember LC and H1 were designed for very specific purposes. Right, exactly. The problem with H1 though, and to be honest, that's one steel I actually hate. Like I hate H1. I think H1 is like it's a really weird steel. Now, I'm not saying I've sharpened a lot of it because I'd be lying if I said that. I have not. But I remember one experience I had sharpening it. I felt like it was like sharpening like sharpening aluminum. That's what it felt like. It was really, really weird. Like, I mean, like unbelievably weird. And ever since then, I always warn people against it. Like, don't even get that shit. And then when you get in, its edge retention is like the worst you could get. If you want a knife for an edge, don't get that shit. If you just want a knife to not corrode, then yeah, it's fine. But what's the point then? All right. And LC200N takes a really good edge, holds a good edge. So it's like worlds above H1. H1 is, in my opinion, it's good for maybe a dive knife of something for just stabbing, nothing else. Or maybe a serrated dive knife where you're like once the serrations are dull, you're just going to throw it away and replace it. Something like that. But for anything where you want to sharpen it again and you want it to be sharp, don't get that stuff. I just warn away from it. Like I said, unless if it's serrated and you're just going to throw it away or something. Hey, Ben, long-time listener, first-time commenter. Nice. Got my best pocket knife from one of your videos. Thanks, man. Dude, that's awesome, man. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching and commenting. That's awesome, man. I'm always happy to hear that. Erica sent me her Delica Wardcliffe and K390 to check out. I'm loving this steel so far, and that FRN isn't bothering me. Spyderco's FRN, I think, is the best you can get. I don't think any FRN does it. No company does FRN, which is basically plastic, better than Spyderco. Spyderco does this type of pattern on it that makes it feel a little bit better. Of course, it still feels like plastic, but something about it is just better. The ridges they put on there and the way they do the line around the edge, it's a lot nicer. And K390, you guys already know how I feel about K390. You can't beat it, man. It's like the best steel. I love K390. K390 is one of those steels that you get insane edge retention out of, insane levels of sharpness. Like, I mean, some of the sharpest edges I've ever felt were on K390. But then it doesn't seem like it has the level of microchipping that you would get from other similar super steels, like, I don't know, Maximet or something. S90V is another good one, too. How about the Benchmade Elite stuff? Never tried it. I need to get some more Benchmades on the channel. I mean, I've had a bunch of Benchmades on the channel, but I need to get more. I'm not even sure what they came out with this year that was new. But I don't know. I haven't had a lot of them on lately, at least new ones. Like the newest one I can think of is the Adamas. Yeah, what did you get, Ben? I should have asked that. What did you get? I'm curious. I've been trying to move on from GRN, FRN, G10, been preferring just tie handles lately. Yeah, I think we all go through like a transition where we go from FRN to G10, G10 to micarta to titanium or aluminum and then titanium. But titanium can make you become a whore like me. I'm definitely somewhat of a titanium whore. And then you got to go into some anodized titanium, and then maybe a little Timascus or some brass or some copper. I think it's cool just to have a little bit of every. I personally like a little bit of everything, but my two favorites are definitely micarta and titanium. Now, I love me some good fat carbon fiber. I don't want it on everything, but I like it every now and then. Like I really do. I love it. So I have a couple knives that have some fat carbon, and every time I look at them, like they pop to me, and I love it. But I also love the look of some good micarta too. Um, Before a couple of years ago, it was rare to see micarta like we do now. Like we see it on everything now, but before it was only on the good stuff. If you were gonna get micarta, you were spending some money. Now we see it on just about everything. But that's how it goes. The more that's produced, the better the costs can get. Um, Yeah, titanium can be cold. That is the thing. It is colder, and micarta is warm. So I guess those of you that are like me that maybe deal with different seasons, you're gonna want your titanium for the summer, your micarta for the winter. Towns Tool says, "Am I the only one who thinks CRKT is the gimmick company, just putting stuff out for the sake of putting stuff out?" No, you are definitely not the only one. I personally am not even a huge fan of them anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, they have amazing designs. It's just executing them. And then they do have some great models like their deadbolt lock. That's awesome. And that was so innovative. That was awesome. I think that they should do more of it. But then it's like their prices just don't make sense for what they're giving you. Now I know that lock was innovative, so I get having it be a little bit pricier, but then they'll put like HCR on it or something. Or D2, and it's like, man, we stopped using that. Not saying that we don't still use that stuff, but like HCR, we're going to talk about HCR. It's funny we're going into all these subjects. We're going to talk about some HCR, but they're just a little late to the game. I think they're always 1 year behind. I think a lot of companies are. I think some of the companies that like KIZER and other companies alike, I think they are ahead of the ball. Civivi, most usually, but a lot of these other companies, they're a year behind. It seems like they wait for everybody else to pave the way to see what's going to catch, and then they jump into the mix right at the end when they're on to the next. So, and then their prices are just crazy. Some with ZT Kershaw. Same with ZT and Kershaw and the others. Yeah, for sure. It's weird though because Kershaw used to be such a good brand, man. I'll always have a spot for Kershaw. But see, it just seems like they're falling back farther and farther and farther. Can we please stop calling aluminum handle scales premium? Well, I think that's arguable because there's different grades of aluminum. So, like, what is it? 7071? Is that right? Am I dumb? Because there's 6061 and then there's 7071. So 7071, like that's like a real premium aluminum. Like it's more expensive, it's better quality as far as scales go. So I think it depends on the aluminum, but yeah, aluminum's affordable, easy to machine. So I guess, in those, looking at it like that, yeah, it's not premium because it's easy to machine and it's everywhere and it's, very affordable, but they make for great handles. They do, as long as one, it's done right and it's on the right knife. Like here, I got, don't get mad that I'm pulling this out, guys. I know they're not available right now. The KIZER original. This little sucker's badass. I love that it's in aluminum. I love it. And who is it? Lion Steel uses a lot of aluminum. Not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying they use a lot of it. Who else? Doesn't Hogue uses some aluminum, but yeah, for the most part, yes, I would prefer titanium, but in some cases, I don't mind aluminum, right? If I know they're not going to put titanium on it, if I just to get a lightweight, because it is very lightweight and considerably tough for what you're putting it on, right? We're putting on for knife scales, so it's tough enough. It's perfectly fine for knife scales. It's very tough for that, as long as it's a regular EDC knife. But I get what you're saying. It still uses aluminum in their blades. ProTech, yes, ProTech uses a lot of aluminum. That's who it was. Medford uses aluminum. A lot of them do use aluminum. Like I said, it's easier for them to. It's easy for them to machine. It's affordable to get. It's very lightweight and it is tough. For what it's for. I'm not saying it's tough for certain things, but for a lightweight knife or a regular everyday carry knife, I think it's perfectly fine. Now the problem with it is the finish. It's not like so like you can tell the difference between aluminum and titanium pretty quickly touching it. It has like a powdery feel to it when they blast it. That's a lot different than titanium. Titanium with the same blasted finish gets a more rougher texture. Like anybody who's ever felt the Kershaw's aluminum scales, like on the bare knuckle and the knockout, it has like a powdery feel to it. And some people hate that. Like Kara, if I hand her one of those knives, she'll freeze. She'll literally freeze like this. Like, take it out of my hand. Take it, like, she'll play hot potato with it. It makes her go fucking crazy to touch that. Some people have that thing. Like, I have that thing with a couple things too, but usually I'm pretty good with textures. Anyways, thank you, Matt. I hope you're having a good day too. Aluminum is perfect on something like the aluminum mini BEGLEITER. Show off that green one. Yeah, all right. Oh, you know what? I seen they were back in stock. I can link it. I didn't even think about that. If you guys want to get one of these, let me know because I can get you one. Well, you guys can get yourself one, but I can link it for you. 4V, baby. Oh, man, I love this one. It's tough, man, between which one my favorite is between these two. And we're actually going to talk about the BEGLEITER now. So I was going to talk about the BEGLEITER and the DIOR and talk about how much I love this blade shape on a knife this size. The DIOR is like, it's such a good front flipper, man. This flipper tab, come on. That is such a badass flipper. It's such a good idea because you can top flip it. Just like lighting a lighter. Like if you can light a lighter, you can front flip this. But then you can also flip it like a regular knife. This is only like 120 bucks, 20 CV. Badass. I mean, it's not it's got a titanium clip, but it's steel liners in G10. But for 120 bucks, 20 CV titanium clip, it's like on the verge of being a premium knife. It's got premium steel. Now this has 4V on it, and I love the mini BEGLEITER. These things have such good detents. I love it, love it, love it, love it. But this 4V, holy cow, it has this. I'm not saying everybody's 4V is going to be like mine, but this stuff has been really, really good. Like even right now, this thing is so sticky. Let me just cut. When I pull out edges like this, I just got to cut something. Just makes me want to cut something. This thing is so damn sharp. It's insanity. And I don't want to get a comment about stop wasting paper. This is what I got my paper for, right? If I write on it or I cut it, it's going in the same place. So, and you guys should know that trees that get cut down for paper are replaced by 2 more trees. Look at that. Woo! That thing is so damn sharp. But I did lay it back to 15 degrees per side. 15 degrees per side. basically a mirror edge. It is basically a mirror edge. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if we can get it up on camera. Ooh, it's got some scratches on it because I've been using it and stuff, but it was a mirror edge. Sticky sharp though, man. 4V is just such a good steel. I love 4V. Very, very drop shutty. The aluminum scales go perfect on this thing. But this one, the titanium frag pattern one, is pretty cool too. The big difference, so the one thing, it's not that I dislike it, it's just a huge difference. This clip makes it kind of uncomfortable in the hand, but I use the knife mostly like this anyways. But when I am like this, yeah, this clip gets in your hand. And this one is not like that at all. This one's actually pretty comfortable in the hand. Now, speaking about them, I mean, you can't pass up the actual BEGLEITER. Well, the BEGLEITER too. Such a snappy knife, man. This one's another great one. I wish they were doing a better steel than N690 for the regular mini and this one. Not even a better steel because there's nothing wrong with N690. N690 is fine. It just doesn't hold an edge for a very long time. But it's very responsive to a strop and it's easy to sharpen. So, and you know, it's pretty affordable for what you're getting. And you got to consider the other things. You can't just consider the steel. You got to consider the handle materials, the action, the bearings, how well tuned it is, you know, how good of a knife it is just all the way around. But the new DOMIN, my favorite DOMIN yet. The hollow ground sheep's foot DOMIN. Holy shit, this thing is awesome. I really like this one a lot, and it's in 154 cm. I have not sharpened it yet or anything, but complete fall shut action. The detent is super solid, and this is same thing like we were talking about with the mini BEGLEITER. The blade shapes are super similar, and this is just like, it's such a useful blade shape for EDC. You can't go wrong with a blade shape like this. It's like having a claw and a regular blade at the same time. Sorry guys, I need to get to the comments. With all of the new knife steels coming out, are there any older steels that have gone obsolete or unpopular as a result of more modern compositions becoming desirable? Yes, and we're going to talk about one right now actually, and that is 8CR 13 MOV, or yeah, 8CR 13 MOV. So 8CR 13 MOV. Now, I'll be honest, I like this knife. I did not link it, but I should have. It's very affordable. It's like it's under 30 bucks, right? This is a big knife too. Like if you want a big knife that's a good knife, it's on needle bearings. So it's not even on regular ball bearings. It's on needle bearings. Detent is solid. It's a steel frame lock, but it's a super thin, slim knife. Nice and slicey blade. A fantastic knife, right? As a knife and a tool, it's amazing. The steel is 8CR though, which it's kind of obsolete. I'm not going to say it's completely obsolete, but it's on the verge for sure. Because the reason why is because for the same money, you can get D2, you can get AUS 10, you can get N690, you can get steels that, especially D2, even 14C for around the same price that they try to sell this stuff for. And you're going to get more edge retention. So you're going to get just as stainless, just as everything else. Like this stuff does take a very good edge. I'm not going to deny 8CR. It takes a really good edge. It's nice and stainless. It's a decent steel for under $20. But once you get over $20, you can get D2. Or put this way, 440C. 440C is an amazing steel. That's like 9CR. Yes, it's a very budget steel, the bottom of the barrel, but it's better than 8CR. Not much better, but it's better. You know, probably will outcut it by, I don't know, 10 feet or something, but still it'll outcut it. So, but 8CR though, that's one that I think is about obsolete. I still think there's some knives that it should still be on. I just think they should be under 20 bucks. But a knife like this, the knife is what's good. So you're paying for the knife and then, you know, you're just having to get 8CR. And 8CR, if you're practicing sharpening, learning sharpening, 8CR is not a bad steel to learn on. It's a decent steel. It gets really, really, really sharp, and it can hold an edge a little bit. Not a lot of it, a little bit, you know, for a couple cuts. Jared is jealous. Hey, I understand. Hey, I'm taking my time over here. I'm working my way up, buddy. I'm working my way up. Thought you were going to message me some tips and tricks. 8CR, 9CR, the budget of the budget. Yes, they are. Well, shit, they have some 3CR, 7CR, 5CR. When I see those, like, it better be my lock bar. It better not be the blade. I had a company message me. This was a couple months ago, and they said, "Hey, would you want to check out this knife?" And I'd seen, they sent me a picture of the knife, and I just messaged back, "What steel is it?" And they messaged back 7CR, I think 7CR, 5CR. And I said, I'll just be honest. No, I don't want to check it out. I said, I don't think it's for my audience or whatever, you know. And I said, and I don't want to waste your time because, you know, I'm going to be honest about it. And if you send it, I promise you right now, I'm going to bring up that the steel is shit. So I said, I just don't think you should send it. And they're like, okay, you know, that's cool. But I couldn't help but think though, like, oh no, he still wanted to send it, but I still was denying. I said, listen, it's not going to be any good for you. Like, trust me, it's not going to be any good for you. You know, my audience is going to drag that knife. Like, don't do it. Please don't do it. Because like I said, though, you know, like if it was the liner, then we could talk, you know. If the liner was made out of 5CR, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. You know, but the blade still better be above 8CR. Not saying 8CR is fine. Like, I'll still check things out at 8CR, but that's like the bottom of the bottom. A lot of knives, it seems like, that have 8CR have other versions in D2. So a lot of times you still have an option to get one or the other. Sometimes, not always. I put a rough edge on my belt grinder on my D2 Dozier. Was hard with my Lansky. So with D2, you know, because of the carbides and everything, you want to use, if you're using a Lansky, it needs to be diamond. I recommend, if you're using a Lansky, period, get diamond stones. They are going to make everything so much easier. Now, make sure you get an extra coarse diamond plate. They sell them. Lansky sells them. So you can get the extra coarse, the medium, the fine, all that stuff. If you have those, you can quickly sharpen any D2 knife, but you need diamond. And a coarse stone. You don't want to start off at 600 grit. You want to start off at like 200 grit. Yeah, Kubi does do a good job with their OS 10. Kubi does a good job. Cold Steel does a good job. There's nothing wrong with OS 10. It's very similar to VG10, which you see a lot on quality chef knives, which I like. I think VG10, OS 10, those steels, 10 CRs are really good on chef knives. What's up, Jeremiah? It's holding, man. It's holding. I'll be back running miles here soon, real soon. Not too much longer. I've been trying to take it easy and push it at the same time. I don't want it to heal messed up, so I want to make sure I stay moving, but I also don't want to tear it, so I also don't want to do too much. But I've been doing pressure. I've been standing. I've been walking. So I should be walking normal here soon. How many stitches? I don't even remember, like 16 or something like that. They wanted to put 22, but because it's so damn painful to put shots in your foot, and the shots were not doing anything, he made them extra wide stitches. I don't know. I'm not the guy who did the stitches, but he explained it because he was a surgeon and shit. So he explained that he was going to do the stitches where he didn't have to do as many, but he wanted to do 22 at first. So, but he did less and just made them wider or whatever, so that whatever. Yes. I started off just doing bird baths. I wasn't fucking around jumping into a shower because I didn't want the risk of infection for one, but I also can't get them wet. So it's like, and also I couldn't stand. I couldn't stand at first. So what am I supposed to stand in the shower on one leg and take a shower? Yeah, right. I'll bust my ass. So I just did bird baths. Not a problem. I've done them and I've had to do them in the past, so I'll be all right. There's been many times I've had to take bird baths somewhat long term, so I'll be okay for a couple weeks doing bird baths, but yeah, it sucks. What's up, Gimpy? Shout out to JD for EDC. Go and follow his channel, guys. I actually seen he did a short the other day I was watching. I thought it was 1,000 stitches. Maybe all the way around. I do know I have one spot that's like the deepest, and that spot has like almost like a bulge coming out of it. So that's another reason why I want to stay moving, because I don't want it to get stuck like that. I want it to start stretching and stuff, you know. Seems logical says, I had my foot in a cast as a kid. I used to put my foot into a giant freezer bag, rubber band it, and shower on a stool. Well, that's what the plan was. The plan was actually I have a little stool over here. I was going to take a stool and sit in there, but because of the stitches and everything, it's weird that like certain positions I'm just fine. Other positions, like especially like when I stretch or sit certain ways, it's like it stretches the skin on the bottom of my foot, and you wouldn't expect it to. Like, you know, you would think like, how the hell is that stretching the skin on your foot? However it is, but it is, and I can feel it like pulling the stitches. So I was trying not to do certain positions too much. Like even like bending over, standing up and picking up something, I can feel the back of my heel skin stretching. So I wanted to heal that skin as much as possible before I start doing stuff like that. You know, like even if it's like going to be fine, I don't want to risk it. Because I'm already walking, guys. I'm just very slow. But I stopped walking on the crutches. Yesterday was my last day. I was using the one like a cane, and then today I'm actually walking. It's just very slow. So, but I'll be doing everything here really soon. I'm a fast healer. Dennis with the 5 crackers. Thank you, brother. Bang, just wanted to say thank you. Last weekend I bought and sharpened my first knife as a gift. Wouldn't have been possible without you guys. Oh man, dude, thank you, man. Thank you for the 5 bones. And that's awesome, man. That's great. That's incredible. Yeah, I remember excuse me, buying certain knives like Ganzos and stuff, planning to learn how to sharpen on them. Like I would buy specific knives just to teach myself how to sharpen, as I went through a long journey of learning how to sharpen where all I watched was sharpening content. That was it. I'd go to sleep to sharpening content and still not have a clue. Still not have a clue. Like there was just like little details I wanted and needed and felt like I wasn't doing right or getting right. And it's like, you're not getting that information from, you know, I'd watch an hour-long sharpening video. And that's why, like, when I finally figured it out and I was doing really well and I started making videos on it, I said, man, I'm going to try to explain this stuff in such great detail that you can't go wrong. Now, of course, muscle memory plays a big part, so you do still have to get used to doing stuff, but at least you'll know what to do. Like I even remember being confused on the angle. Like which one is lower or higher? Like, you know, because sometimes things are in reverse. And then does the lower one make it bigger? Does the higher? Like I didn't get any of it. And then stones, man, stones. I remember I asked a guy about stones, and he gave me such a long answer. I was pissed. I just wanted a one-word answer, and I know now how difficult it is to give a one-word answer. I get it. I understand. But at the time, it was just like, tell me what stone to get, man. Like, don't start going into all these like a 3-paragraph explanation of, you know, variables and this and that. It's like, man, just tell me the stone. But he's got like 121 questions, but I get it though. I get it. Like, what are you sharpening? You know, what steel are you sharpening? You know, are you trying to freehand? You trying to fixed angle? Like, there's a lot of questions. Do you want something messy? That's why I always say the same answer. Get diamond plates. That's it. That's the only thing I'll say. Get diamond plates. Start there. It's the best place to start. Fuck everything else. Get diamond plates. Ultra sharp diamond plates. I can get you 3 of them in my link. I found the best link for like 50 something dollars. You can get a 300, a 600, and a 1200 grit of a 2x6 diamond plate. Bang. And that'll work on everything. So, all right. I fuck up the tips hand sharpening. Can't quite get the angle right when sweeping up the belly towards the tip. So take your finger. Let me get something else. Take your finger and actually put it there. Put it just like this, so that when it hits the stone, you can actually push it into the stone. See how when I went like that, it's like I'm pushing it in. So as it hits the stone right here in front of the tip, you'll know it's about to hit the tip because your finger will hit the tip and you can push it into it. Now, if your angle is smaller on one side and bigger on the other side, or say this side's smaller, right? The side I'm working on, and when I hit the tip, it's smaller. Go like this with your wrist. Watch my wrist. Like that. So go into the stone and then like that. And what'll happen is that'll kind of lower your angle right there at the tip. But just touching it, first off, don't do the angle thing unless if you've already worked on the tip for a while. All right. Make sure you hit it a bunch of times first. But yeah, just touch it all the way to the stone. Pluto's moon. I have over 40 knives and have only recently wanted to learn how to sharpen. But that's awesome, man. It's never too late. It's never too late to want to learn. And you know, when you learn how to sharpen, not only is it amazing at the horizon of knives, like in what you like, you can sharpen anything. So it's not just the pocket knives, you know, from razor blades to scissors to axes, whatever. And when you learn how to sharpen, it makes it to where you appreciate your knives so much more. When your knives are always sharp, man, you appreciate them so much more. I'll tell you what though, you stop wanting to carry other knives. Like you'll want to just carry sharp knives. Like you'll stop. You'll feel an edge of somebody else's, and you'll think like in your head, like, how do you carry this? Um, but anyways, not talking shit or anything because I understand. I sometimes have to carry shit edge knives too, but um learning how to sharpen also, this is one of the most beautiful things. It opens up like another world of things. Like say when you have the knife community and you've realized all the knives and you've seen a lot of them, you've learned all the shapes, you've learned the steels, you've learned this. Sharpening opens up a whole nother world of things to learn and get into. You can get into stones, you get into the different steels, you get into the different grits, you get into the different angles, you get into the different blade shapes, so many different things. And it really makes you want to try. It makes you want to try, well, I want to try natural stones, or I want to try ceramic, I want to try diamond. What about low angles? What about polished edges? What about coarse edges? You know, it's awesome. I personally have a blast with it because I like finding out like the different grits I can put on different steels and how they respond. And, you know, having a super coarse edge one day, you know, it's like almost like a saw blade, and then going to a polished edge the next day and like, you know, feeling the differences and what works better for me on what. Okay, so let's get into some pocket dumps really quick because I did name this thing pocket dumps, so I think it's about that time. And then we'll get back into some knife talk. We do have a cool story, and let's get into it. So we have here, as soon as I pull the damn screen up, right here. All right. Okay, can you guys see it? Yes, you guys can see it. Okay, so I went to EDC Pocket Dumps on Instagram. And we have I'm just like right in the middle. We're just gonna scroll down. So this first one right here, I actually have this little it's called Dapper Designs dang it, key dangler or something like that. This thing right here, if you guys can see my mouse, it actually has a little blade right here. It's a little razor. Very, very sharp. But these are all little pocket tools that also have a blade, except for this big chunky son of a bitch. That's just a knife. So is this one. But anyways, they're pretty cool. This one looks like a pocket dangler too. So a pocket dangler, this hook goes on your pants, like just like a clip, or on your belt. You can hook it around your, not belt, the belt loop that your belt goes in around your pants, the loop that goes over the belt, you know, on your jeans. You can hook it onto that. And then you have a little wire that hangs through this hole that you can hang keys on. So you can hang keys from your belt or in your pocket, but it keeps things off of the bottom of your pocket, which is pretty cool. Let's back up. Okay, what else we got? We got some Nux. I'm not sure the brand of Nux these are. Remember, I can't see the comments yet, but I'm going to go back here in a second. We're going to click on one of these. I want to see an actual good pocket dump, though. This guy's carrying around a dog in his pocket. Where are the pocket dumps? What is all this shit? I am not happy with EDC pocket dumps right now for some reason. Here we go. We got one pocket dump. So we have a Leatherman. Looks like a little pen light. And then some sort of EDC pen. I'm not sure what pen that is. Is that a Sandrin? What kind of knife is that? A San Remnu. Okay, it's a San Remnu. That's cool. All right. I actually just got, guys, I just got a San Remnu that somebody recommended. And it's pretty badass. I'm going to show it to you guys here in a day or two. It's a premium one. Pretty cool. These are some Serge Penchico beans. Or they're knockoff ones. One of the two. I don't think those are knockoffs. So those look legit. But these aren't pocket dumps. I'm like failing on showing you guys pocket dumps right now. Here we go. But that's the same guy. Never mind. We can't look at that one. We got a Koenig here. Koenig Arius. That's badass. See, when I think of pocket dump, I think of like this. He's got his Leatherman charge with a little EDC pry bar. That's cool. See, that's a pocket dump. This guy shows us his pouch. Show me what's inside the pouch. Well, I know this isn't in your pocket, but we got a lot of knives here. All ZTs, all zero tolerance knives. Badass. I'm not feeling this pocket dump thing right now because they kind of screwed me over on pocket dump. Oh, here we go. We finally got a real pocket dump, guys. All right. So we got, I don't know what the hell that thing is right there. I don't know. Whatever that is right there. And then we have a ray light. Then we have an EDC pen. I can't tell what pen. Oh, tactile turn. Okay. Then we have a PM2. What steel is that? S45. And he got the serrated version. Then we have an XM18 3-inch Warncliffe with the finger choil. And a little mini pry bar. Very cool. Very cool. What are you guys saying really quick? Let me see. Anyone ever hear Kara in the background laughing every time Jared says dump? That's hilarious. This guy, oh man, we gotta find some more stuff in here. I feel like I'm like failing to show you guys pocket dumps right now. Oh, here we go. Look at that knife. That's badass. I actually did a full review on one of these. Yes, it was not good because the knife failed very easily, but it was such a badass knife. Such a badass knife. And that's an Arno Bernard Mamba. El Mamba. They are so smooth. The one I had was even smoother than that, but the detent was so good on it. That fuller works so good for the reverse flick. I was actually surprised that Lefty EDC didn't like his more than he did, but I don't know. Maybe mine was just better, the one I tried. I will say though, but it was failing very easily. But I'm pretty sure that Arnold Bernard fixed it. Let's see here. Oh, hell yeah. We got the Dawn, the TW Price Designs Dawn. I did get to check out the prototype of this. I wish I would have got one. That's a badass knife. I wish I would have got one, but I didn't. We got a Strider, a pen, pry bar, and a light. Looks like, yeah, it's a real Strider too. An M Strider. I don't know, man. Strider needs to step up their game too. That's another guy. Like, I know they have some fan boys, but they need to step it up. But it's just they never will, as long as all you guys don't ever let anything like you, not you guys in particular, but people like those, then they sell out so fast. Why would they ever improve? They could literally sell you the worst lock stick in the world, and you're just like, I'll take it. This is a oh, what the hell's it called? Oh man, an Usler Customs. I love the Usler duck. In my opinion, one of the best thumb stud actions ever. Absolutely love it. And then this looks like a custom. What the hell's it called? I can't think of the designer's name right now. Is it Richard Rogers? I don't know. Anyways, we're about to get off of this here in 1 second, guys. I'm probably losing some of you. Probably like, what the fuck is he doing in here? What is this? A Mayberry? I've never even... A Mayberry? You guys ever heard of Mayberries? Anybody heard of a Mayberry? I DM'd you a picture of my EDC for today. Awesome. What the hell is this thing? It's not done, that's for sure. It's about to be an axis lock, I'm guessing. It looks cool, though. Looks like a beast. I like the way it looks. The hole looks like it might be a little small for the blade, but who knows? I'd have to try it, I guess. Is this one of them? It is. Look at that. It's a Kunwu. Is this this ain't out. Question for y'all. Would you rather have a 68 HRC blade with new steel? We'll tell you which one this week. We're testing from Bowler or 60.8 Vanex. Something new or something already seen. I'd love to see them do some Vanex. That looks like a badass model. I like the look of that. Holy cow. I hope... Are they coming up with this? Somebody says Rex 121. You do not want to see Kunwu do Rex 121, guys. Trust me on this. You do not want to see that. Either they'll run it super soft or it'll be super chippy. Not to their fault, but because that's not going to be a steel that's easy to heat treat. Vanex would be nice to see them do. Here's one of the best budget knives ever. Civivi Praxis. Wait, is that a Praxis? It looks like it has a hollow grind, doesn't it? Is that a Praxis? I think it is. It looks like it has a hollow grind, though. Anyways, all right, let's get out of here. I know you guys are getting sick of this. Lots of custom shanks in prison. All handmade and hand ground, or all handmade, and it actually be ground, right? Because they're all ground on the ground. That's hilarious. All handmade and ground. I'm just looking at how many people are in here really quick. And then we are going to get to some more knives. All right, so. No, that's not it. What the hell's going on? So, next thing I wanted to talk about, and guys, don't forget, I did link the and our wallets if you guys are interested. And remember, I got 25% off the entire store if you guys use my link. All right, so. Oh, and thank you guys for joining me tonight. I do appreciate it. You guys make all this possible. I love you guys. I do really appreciate you guys coming to the lives and showing support and everything. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. All right, so Hawkbill blades. So you know what? Before we talk about Hawkbill blades, let's talk about this damn, because you guys just watched the video on it with the reverse bolster lock knife. I actually got it on me right now. This thing's pretty sweet. I love that it's, hey, Stasa, you son of a bitch. Oh, didn't pull it up. What's up, Neeves is the man. Hit that like button. Thank you for the 5 bones. And definitely go and follow Stasa23's channel. Awesome channel. He's always got badass knives. Always got amazing content. Go and follow his channel. The reverse bolster lock. I don't even know if they call it a reverse bolster lock, but it is. It's 100% a reverse bolster lock, because a bolster lock is the exact opposite of this. So it's a reverse bolster lock. And I coined the phrase. So shout out to me. But awesome knife, man. They did a heck of a job. It's super comfortable in the hand. Like I said in the video, the way this tapers from a little bit thinner here to a little bit thicker there just makes you lock in, because when you're cutting, all the pressure that goes against the blade, you use these 2 fingers to hold, right, from the knife going like this. So having it a little bit thicker right there really makes you have a lot of leverage in a cut. And this thing, man, the blade shape's wicked. The design's wicked. It's unique. It's different. The action is really, really good. Thumb stud action and deployment. Concept did a really good job on this one. The front flipper works well. The blade is wicked looking, but it works good. I mean, you can just look at it and see it's a useful blade shape. Hey, JD! Who got in on the Tempest Knives pre-order? Yeah, I should have announced that. Don't forget, guys, that pre-order started today for Tempest Knives. I did post a thing on my story on Instagram. But yeah, don't miss out on that. JD, thank you for the 5 bones. And again, guys, go and follow JD for EDC. Thank you for the 5 bones, brother. But yeah, this thing comes in like 8 different configurations. I can't link it, but you can get 10% off if you use my discount code for White Mountain Knives. I don't get anything from it, but you guys get 10% off. So if you guys want one, I think they have all of them in there. I think it's 8 different ones. The Fenrir is my jam. And I ordered a friggin' Abyss. Yeah, man, this thing is the jam for sure. It's awesome. Now, the other one, I'm actually kind of upset. If you guys didn't see it, I forgot to mention, and I knew it too. I knew it when I did the video, that they have 2 different versions of this. This is the drop point version. They also have a clip point version with a full flat grind.
They have 2 different versions?
I'm going to fuck you up.
I didn't know.
Don't come in behind me like that.
But I didn't know they had 2 different versions.
Why are you coming in like that?
Because you said they have 2 different...
You obviously didn't watch my video.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
So...
What are we talking about?
So they have 2 different versions of this.
Blows my mind every time I hear it. Sorry, I'm done. Go
ahead. And the other one's a full flat grind if you don't like the saber grind. And the saber grind means... you know, the start of the flat grind is like halfway up the blade. The other one, the clip point version, is a full flat. But I wish I would have said that in the video because I think some people might like the full flat a little bit better. I personally like this shape a little bit better. I don't know why. I love that swedge on top. It just looks nice and mean. But this thing is super, super solid.
Do you guys like the holes in the scales?
Somebody else said that it reminded them of their strainer that they had at home, and they can't
or a
unsee it.
cheese grater.
And they can't unsee it.
It looks like the
I don't mind the holes on this. I you know, it's not like
man.
something I'd choose, but
I
it's
almost feel like if they were gonna do it, they should have just did it like more like consistently across the whole
the
scale.
whole thing.
Yeah, that would have been to me more like.
Talk about attracting dirt, though, right?
Yeah, I know, but like I'm just saying, like the design it almost looks a little bit old fashioned, like the two diamonds like that. Like I don't know. Hello,
And those
hey
of you
guys.
that don't know, this is my lovely wife, Kara.
Yo.
Coming in heavy on the sarcasm. Heavy.
I
Spreading it on nice and thick, like.
you know what I think would be funny is if we had like a sound box and like if I entered halfway through a live like this that it did like the old fashioned thing when you're watching a sitcom and like a celebrity guest comes in to the sitcom,
Mhm.
you know, and the crowd is like, "Wah!" You know how they do that like particular noise.
You know who does that?
That'd be so funny.
You know who does that?
Who?
Ray. Everyday City Carry.
Who?
He's got that button that like every time, like say if we come in there, right, on the chat, he'll hit the thing and you can hear an applause.
But it's like that old school sitcom celebrity guest when they open the front door and they're like,
yeah, it is.
that's super funny. Well, it was my idea.
Well, you better start your lawsuit. Cold Steel Micro Recon 1 Tonto arrived recently. Neat little keychain folder. Yeah, it is so small though. Not really my style just because it's so small. I don't mind backlock so much, but I want the backlock. I like to be able to use the backlock where I can drop it and then hit my finger and then close it like the Spyderco's. But that's still a cool knife. The TOWSER K in copper though is holy cow cool. I really like this one. Now,
Is that by Sheepdog?
no, it's not, but it does look like a sheepdog
Like
design,
just
doesn't
now
it?
when you flipped it out, when I didn't look in real life, I looked on screen and I thought you had a sheepdog in your hand for a second.
Yeah, it's not a sheepdog, but the action is so insane on these. I was able to link the micarta version down in the chat. I can't link these ones, but you can get them on Mojave Outdoors and save yourself was it 15% off or 10% off or something if you use our discount code. But these things have like some of the most ridiculous action ever. The thumb stud deployment is so snappy, and then it's a straight guillotine, and it's because they weight relieve the whole top portion. Come on. The whole top portion in there is all weight relieved. So there's like almost no weight in the pivot. And that's why it just drops. But having the heavy handle to it, it just makes it feel more premium. Now, I know a lot of people don't like copper.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. We're about to talk about scent of the day here in just one second.
That was not a segue into scent of the day.
It almost was. It almost was.
It smells good.
Thank you. Hi, Kara. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you, Jeremiah? Did I read that right? Yes, I did. It's hard to see from back here.
Yeah, this one's hard not to like. I remember when everybody else was raving about it and I hadn't tried it yet, and I was like, yeah. Then I get it in hand, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I get it now.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna disturb you. So I'm gonna go. I just want to say hello to everybody and have a good night.
All right, baby.
I love you.
I love you. Try one more time. Can you throw just any Omega springs into the CMB Predator? Mine has a weak one, and the crossbar is slightly lopsided and has rough action. Really? Okay, well, couple things. One thing, clean off your crossbar, because your crossbar... Do I have an access lock up here? Your crossbar rubs against the blade as it's rotating. So make sure that's clean. That's what can give you gritty action. Another thing, make sure your bearings are clean. If you have to take it apart, clean the bearings, because the bearings are also going to be a part of that. But as the blade rotates, like say this is the pivot rotating, the crossbar hits that pivot, so make sure that's nice and clean. Yes, you can get replacement Omega springs. Look on Etsy. Now, they're not all the same size, no, but I would imagine that as long as you get a, look for a pair for like a Benchmade Griptilian or something, they'll most likely fit. Um, if they don't, they're $6 a pair, so they're not expensive. Now, I recommend getting those because the Etsy ones are a little bit stronger than like Benchmade ones. Now, mine personally are really strong. My Omegas are really strong on my CMB. Now, you can make your own if you're really worried about it. Get memory wire. I forget what gauge. Can somebody in the chat mention the gauge memory wire you want for Omega springs? I forget what gauge it is, like 12 gauge or something like that. That could be completely off, but you want to get some memory wire and figure out the gauge wire your Omegas are, and just get that memory wire and make them yourself. Whatever you bend it to, you just get something round and bend it around, and then bend a hook onto it. Just look at it and bend the same thing, and then you can make 1,000 of them. You can get memory wire very cheap. Somebody's got to know what gauge memory wire is for Omega springs. Somebody please let me know. But that's what I would recommend if you do need new Omega springs. But you can order them on Etsy though for $6 a pair. Just order a large pair. I think they do come in a couple different sizes between like medium and large or small and large. Just get a large pair and a medium pair. Why don't you just buy 2 different pairs so then you'll be right? Like I said, they're $6 a pair, and there's nothing wrong with having extra pairs. If you collect knives, you'll wind up using them. I've used every single one. I think I might have maybe one more left. No, I actually got a couple pairs left, but I always wind up using them eventually, whether it's on a knife that I don't think has a strong enough access lock, or some Omega springs break. What's going on with the YouTubes? Your channel is third one that my membership has been dropped in the last couple of days. I wonder if it's got anything to do with the Rogers screw up. I have no idea what that means, but if it dropped you, it's because your credit card didn't go through. That's the only thing I can think of. Who was that said that? Canuck. Well, it's saying you're still a member, so I don't know how it could have dropped you. It's saying you're still a member. But yeah, if it's still gritty and you've done cleaned it and everything, and it's just your lock bar or the pressure is not even, yeah, just you can just get new Omega springs to see if that helps. You can also take the pair out and see if one's broken. One might be broken. See if one's bent. Things happen to Omegas. All right, so let's talk about. Oh, here. Thank you, Fiend. See, Fiend is the man. Came in swinging. So 22 gauge and 24 gauge is what he found. So get to 22 gauge. 22 is going to be heavier duty than 24 gauge. So the lower the number, the heavier the gauge. So 22 gauge, get 22 gauge, and you should be good. And you can make your own, and it comes in a spool, so you can make every size, every one you want. You can start selling them on Etsy. There's a guy on Etsy that makes nice Omega springs. I know there's a big and small size. Right. That's where I usually go, is to that guy. I just don't remember. I don't know what size. I haven't taken apart the Predator, so I don't know what size are in them. So I don't know if it's more relative to the Benchmade Reptilian, or, I don't know. So I know a lot of times you can just order. When I go on there, I just order them for the knife, but mine are usually for Benchmates. I honestly haven't broken any on anything else. But okay, so let's go into decimal inch, not gauge, guys. Okay, decimal inch, not gauge. I thought that was by the gauge. Wire's usually by gauge. Anyways, doesn't matter. Put the like button on ya. Filter them. Yes, guys, please hit the like button. I do appreciate it. It does help out the YouTubes, or helps me out in the YouTubes. Now let's go into scent of the day. Right after we hit this damn donation from Gamma Rayburst with the 10 bones. What's up, man? Love the channel, man. Thank you. I do appreciate the donation, man. Thank you so much. 135 watching, only 100 likes. Come on, guys. Don't do that to me. I mean, you're just sitting there anyways. It's free. Just hit it. Just touch it. Just touch it. Have you heard about the Leatherman Garage? The first two of the limited edition releases are the Mr. Crunch and Dark Side. I have not. So let's get into scent of the day. So scent of the day is technically probably the most popular men's fragrance for 2022. And it is damn good. It is really, really, really good. I know a lot of you are already going to have it or know it, and that is DIOR SAUVAGE. So it's Kara approved, but we're going to argue about that here in a second. Come on. Baby, stop. DIOR SAUVAGE. Sorry for screaming in your ears, guys. Okay, so I did put a bottle in the description, but before you get it, so we're going to talk about what it smells like, and then we're going to talk about the downside to it, because there's no downside to the smell. I'll give you that. It is damn good. Really, really good. So this has a bergamot spicy notes with nutmeg, smoky, an undertone of vanilla. So when I say vanilla, do not think of vanilla smell. I do not like vanilla smell. So mandarin, cardamom, candied raspberry, sandalwood, and tonka bean. So what I get from it when I smell it, it's like it's definitely a clean scent. Excuse me. That's it almost smells like a spicy mandarin, like spicy, like when I say mandarin or orange, very, very subtle. And that's why maybe the raspberry mix in there a little bit. You don't smell orange. Like, I don't mean like that. But it has a spicy fruit smell that's also like, it's a clean cologne smell. But the top note is definitely a spice, like in a good way. Not a winter spice, not like a winter cinnamon spice, but like I guess like a sexy spice with a fruit. And then almost like you're burning wood maybe at the end. So like at the very end, so like the dry down, it's kind of like you're burning wood, and that's probably where the vanilla comes from a little bit. So because it's very, very subtle, and that'll be on the dry down. The first thing right off the bat, you get that fruit spice smell. But really, really fucking good. This is the reason why it's so popular among men is because it was hot for women. Like, women love this scent and men love it. So since men and women both love it, men are willing to wear it and women love it. So in a lot of tests for nose smells, women pick this one like a lot. Now, I think it's great, but the downside is that so many men are wearing it. A lot of men are wearing it, and they should be. I mean, I even wear it. It's damn good. It's really, really good. But I do think there's one that's better and more affordable, I think. I'm pretty sure it's more affordable, like size for size. And I personally think it's better, but this is damn good. If you guys want to try it, it is linked down in the description. But like I said, if you're in a populated area, other guys are going to be wearing it. If you're not in a populated area, just get it. You might as well have it because it's that good. It'll definitely get you some attention. Women love it. It's really, really good. But the one that I think is even better, and it's very similar. So if you have this and you like this a lot, then I personally think you'll like this one better. And that is Versace DILLAN Blue. They're very, very similar. The one big difference is that this one has like a spice orange or spice mandarin on the top. This one, they both have the bergamot, which is where that scent comes from. Okay, they both have the bergamot, but this one has I think grapefruit in it. And what I smell personally, it's almost like a black cherry. So it's like a black cherry spice instead of the orange spice. Which when I say orange, remember I'm not talking about like you're smelling an orange. Like it's just that's the kind like a hint of it. But with this, you actually like that's the only thing I can think of when I smell it. I think of black cherry. I know it's grapefruit and bergamot mix, but it smells like a black cherry with a spice. So it's going to be very similar to that one, except for this one's going to have the top note is going to have more of a black cherry smell on top with the spices. I love this stuff. And it's pretty damn affordable. I do have it linked down in the description. I think it's this exact same bottle too. It's I don't know, like $50, $60 or something like that. For this big of a bottle, that's pretty cheap. The Sauvage, I think, is $100 for a bottle like this. So I think, I'm not positive, but damn it, this stuff is good. Both of them, you can't go wrong with either one. You can't go wrong with either one. But I personally think that if you like the Sauvage, you'll love the DILLAN Blue. And if you're trying to get one or the other, I would go with the DILLAN Blue. But I will say that I think women sometimes it's weird. Sometimes they pick one, sometimes they pick the other. So you pretty much flip a coin when it comes to which one a woman will like more. Ian with the 5 bones, gotta drop a little love on you and Kara. Love you guys. Great to hear you're healing well. Hope there's little to no nerve damage. I hope so too, man. I know for sure I cut nerves. Like that's just you can't cut through your foot without hitting nerves. So I know for sure I cut nerves. I just hope they heal well. I am having some shocks when I bend down. So I'm hoping it's just skin pulling, but I think I'm going to be all right. I think I'm going to be running here in no time. I pray. I'll at least be walking. But thank you, man. Thank you for the donation. I do appreciate it, man. So much. We definitely appreciate all the donations. It definitely keeps us afloat over here at Neevesknives. Thank you, Ian. The only fragrance I use is KPL. Well, that's not good. No, you don't want to raise your hand when we say who's the stinky guy and you raise your hand. KPL does smell good. I'll give it that. It does smell pretty good, actually. That's actually one of the cool things about KPL is it smells edible. You know, that is kind of cool because a lot of other oils on your knives smell just like that oil. So when you oil your knife and then you cut something or you get it on your hand, everything smells like freaking oil. With KPL, everything smells like Cinnabons or whatever. It makes women poop in your bed. Sergeant, we got to hear this story. We got to hear the story on that one. What time is it? Okay, we have 12 minutes until we hit story time. Let me see if I had anything else written down. If not, we will get to Q&A. Q&A. Pretty sure we're at Q&A. Yeah. Oh, I did want to fuck that. But I was going to talk a little bit about 154 CM, but we'll just go into Q&A. Unless if you guys want to talk about that. Anyways, showing those older high beast scents, Jared. Hype beasts. Yeah. Well, I think there's specific smells that will always be good and it's very difficult to top, and other things are trying to replicate it. Right? So remember, fragrances have been around for I don't know, like 200 years. Do you know? Check this out. Fun fact. The same cologne that George Washington used to wear is still a fragrance. They still sell it. It's a USA made fragrance. I forget the name of it, but anyways, there was this other USA fragrance. I was going to buy it because I think it's actually reasonably good, but they went out of business. So that sucks. That's why I didn't wind up getting it and showing you guys. But the one that George Washington used to wear is still in business. Now, I'm sure it smells like an old man. I don't know that for sure. I haven't tried it or anything. But The point is, though, is that fragrances have been around for a long time. They've tried everything. So don't get me wrong. There's tons of new fragrances coming out that are really good. I've tried some of them, but there's also just those ones that are just going to be straight bangers forever. And other places and other companies are only trying to simulate those smells. And like these two smells here that I just showed you, those are, they're not like really old. I think the one came out in 2019, so that's not that old. I love 154. So I love 154 too. Motherfucker. I like.
When you're done, can you bring the computer and the mouse and the little mouse thing over to bed?
Okay. I like 154 too. I'm not a big fan of CPM 154, but 154 CM I love. I just don't. I'm just not a big fan of the CPM 154 because of the way it takes an edge. Sauvage smells so good. Yes, it does. It really does. It is a good one. And like blind tests, but one of these two always do, like, or usually always the pick. Like I said, you got like a 50-50 shot with these two. They're really good. And personally, fucking, I love them both, man. Testosterone, a fragrance inspired by Maurice. That's a rare scent. High ticket rock. I don't know which one that one is. It's really cool to watch your channel evolve. Really, really cool, brother. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it, man. You guys definitely help out with that. And soon you guys are going to see a lot more evolving as soon as I'm like really back on my feet. I know. What the hell? She wants to interrupt but doesn't want to join. Sicaria from Western Australia. We are all going mushrooms today. You have an invite. Okay. Yo, I love the Benchmade 940 and 940 Auto. Do you have any recommendations for similar knives? Well, those are the same knife, but one's an auto, one's an access lock. So if you mean lock-wise or just like knife-wise, because the thing with the 940, one of the reasons why it's so badass is because of that, what they call reverse tanto. I just call it a clip point, but like this knife right here has a similar blade shape, right? But this is a titanium frame lock. This is the This is the AM8 Gladiator. You can also find it on Migaron Knives Gladiator. I recently did a video on it, first impressions. This is pretty cool, but it's a lot different than those knives because it's more heavy duty, not geometry wise, but it's a titanium frame lock and it's heavier. Obviously an access lock is going to be a stronger lock, but this is bigger, you know. But badass knife, badass blade shape. Another one I would recommend if you don't want to spend a lot of money. Jeremiah with the 2 bones just got the 3V titanium 80 20.5 shark's foot, and I love it. Hell yeah, man. Good for you. Hell yeah. This would be a more affordable budget option. So remember that. And if you want me to pick USA made knives, I can, because I understand. But this is not USA made, but it is a hollow ground sheep's foot blade, straight edge damn near. And this is the KIZER DOMIN, but this thing has incredible action. But it's very budget friendly. Comes in micarta, 154 CM blade steel. This blade and the geometry is really, really good. I think if you love the 940 blade shape, this is going to be twice as slicey, if not more. So you get extra sliciness out of it, and you know it's a great knife, solid knife. But like I said, if you're looking for USA made, then I would pick something else, obviously. But that's a great option. How do you think the Kershaw Cargo stands against the D2 version of the K-Bar Dozier? I can't think of the Cargo, but the Dozier, man, that's a solid little knife. I think if you're just looking for a work knife, the Dozier's probably the way to go. It's a super solid work knife. That's what it is. Something that you don't have to worry about losing, throwing around, dropping, or anything like that. Not saying it's a piece of shit. I'm just saying like it's a knife that you can beat on. I just want my damn gripper to show up. Have you tried the Demco in 3V? Wondering the comparison between that and the AUS 10A. Well, 3V is going to be way superior to AUS 10A, but I have not tried it. But I think they fixed. I don't think they rushed the heat treat like they did the AUS 10. So I don't have no doubts they didn't do a good job on it. Do you recommend the Monterey Bay Knives Old Guard? Yes, and I do. If it's your style, yes. I think it just, it wasn't really for me. It was a good knife. There was nothing wrong with it. It was a great knife. Nothing wrong with it. Just wasn't really for me. I'll just say that. The one I tried was on washers. I think I prefer a little bit better action. So not that it had bad action, it had great washer action. So if you really like washer action, you'll probably love it. But that was the one I tried. I think they might have different versions. What's your recommendations for an investment in solid work knife EDC? So when I think of work knife, I always go to construction because that's what I always did. So cold steels, cold steels. There's so many different cold steels. The Code 4, the American Lawman, stuff like that. Those are all really good. They're beater knives you can beat the shit out of. The locks are really strong. They're durable. Now, I personally like a little bit faster action than a backlock. So that's what I'd recommend to somebody just wanting something really tough. But honestly, the Mannix, the Spyderco Mannix, I think it has a really tough lock. You can get it in different steels. You can get it in FRN for budget. It's USA made. They have good heat treats, a great blade shape for work. I think the Mannix is like the way to go for a work knife and EDC knife. You have the action, you have the fast deployment. You have the action, the fast deployment, fast retraction. So if you had to get it out of your pocket fast and you're like working with this hand, you can quickly get it out, make the cut without putting whatever you're working on down, close it and get it put away, and then bring this hand back. That always goes into my mind with work, because when I would work 9 times out of 10, not 9 times out of 10, half the time when I pulled out my knife to use it, my other hand was busy. So I needed to be able to do it one-handed without no thoughts about it. So that's a big thing for me. And these come in so many different steels, and you can upgrade them. You can buy extra parts for them. You can modify them. You can make them your own. They're tough knives, super tough knives. So that's what I would recommend. And it's USA made, baby. Good heat treats too. And not just for work. This is a fantastic EDC knife. That's the beauty of it. It's amazing just for regular EDC. It's got that blade shape that is great for utility cuts, slicing. Like, until you use a Spyderco's blade shape, it's hard to really understand like why it's so good. It really is good. I had the 0452 blade replaced. Now the lock bar almost touches the show side when cutting something. That sucks, man. Any ideas on how to fix it? Nope. Got to get a bigger stop pin. It's the only other way. Or no, you know what? If you send it in, they can replace the stop pin. Sorry, not stop pin. Lock bar insert. So you either got to replace the lock bar insert. One thing you can try. Okay, so this is just a suggestion. Take your steel lock bar insert out and put it back in, but kind of put pressure lifting up high when you're putting in the screw. Hopefully, when you put in the screw, it'll actually lift up a little bit and be higher. That because it doesn't take much. Just a tiny bit will make a big difference on your lockup. So try that. If that doesn't work, you can send it in and ask them for a new steel lock bar insert. What do you think about A2 for a big heavy fixed blade? I'm sure it's fine. I haven't done a lot of shit with A2 steel, so I can't really speak on it too much. But I mean, I'm sure it's fine. I think 1095 or 52-100 is going to be probably about the best you could get. Or 3V. 3V is probably the best, honestly. Yeah, the Shaman was actually, I was going to say the Shaman, but he said for work and EDC. But yeah, the Shaman is, and also it's more money. That's why I didn't. I actually have it right there. I was going to grab it. But the Shaman, it's a lot more expensive. And yeah, I think the Manix for work and EDC, I think it's better. For hard, for tough use, and you want like really comfortable ergos and everything, yeah, the Shaman's great. It's a bad, both of them are badass knives. You can get a Manix so much cheaper. Heavy duty. Am I the only one who carries 3 knives on me at all times? I usually carry 2, not always though. But I usually carry 2. I have one in my pocket, then one in my EDC organizer on my belt. Lately, I've only been carrying 1, but you guys know why. But a lot of times I carry something smaller, like a 3-inch, and then a full size in my pocket. And then I can use one, like if I really need to like just beat on a knife, I can beat on the one in my pocket and then keep the one in my EDC organizer razor sharp. Because I want that razor, baby. What's up? Knives, lots of knives. Pretty sure there's some available right now. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I thought there was. What time is it? Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We're going into story time. Okay, so story time actually has to do with a karambit, hawkbill blade, some sort of self-defense knife like this, right? If you guys watched my fixed blade knife video the other day, there was that little karambit from the thumbnail. It had the little, the little razor. It was almost like a claw. You guys remember that? Okay, so think self-defense knife like that, or something like this. Something that's obviously, this one can be more EDC-able. The karambit one, that was specifically for self-defense. This is going to be more for EDC, but you could use it for self-defense. Now, you're getting lots of comments, people, they say lots of shit. Well, I had one guy comment, which I really liked his comment. He was like, I always carry, because in that video, sorry, let me back up. In that video, I had said that, a blade goes hand in hand with your firearm, right? Because your firearm's for one thing, the knife is for everything else, right? Like people always use the excuse, like, just buy a gun. It's like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Like, you can't, or do you cut things with your gun? Like, that doesn't make sense, right? So, and I think everybody in here will understand, like, a knife's duty is separate than a gun's. Now, that doesn't mean that if there was a certain situation that a knife might not be the best tool or not. I don't know. But the point is, though, is that they go hand in hand with each other because the knife's used for cutting. Anyway, so he said that I always carry a gun and a knife hand in hand, right? Like I always have both. And he went on to say why and things like that, which I thought was awesome. And I related to it. Well, at the same time, I remember thinking of a story, not a story, but something that happened to me, where a situation where it would have a little karambit or that little claw thing from the video would have came in handy. I don't know if I've told the story before. I might have, but I don't remember. Anyway, so what happened was I was in line. So I'm in a car with a friend, and there's this this ice cream place, and behind the ice cream place, it's all projects. So it's all apartment projects and Section 8 housing and things like that. And I know the neighborhood very well, but the ice cream place is right there, and people just pull off a main road because there's a main road right there. So it's not like you have to go into the bad neighborhood to go to the ice cream place. So people, passing through or whatever, just stop at the ice cream place. Great ice cream place. So we were there, but at the time there was a line. So the line actually went out onto the street and then down a little bit. So people still have to be able to get through. right? So we've been in line for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Don't ask me why we wanted this damn ice cream so bad, but we were there, right? Who cares? But this person that, or no, there was somebody trying to come through and people were blocking traffic. And we had to leave a gap, right? We'd already been in line for a while. Now we're like right at the road about to go into the parking lot, but we have to leave a gap for people to be able to drive through. This dumb bitch just pulls right in front of us, while there's still people behind us. Like we have a line, pulls right in front of us and blocks us. Now we're the ones blocking traffic. Now we are, right? Because like, as like the cars were moving up, you have to leave a spot for cars to get through. She just pulls right in front of us. And my buddy, we had to move for whatever reason. I think a car was trying to get through. We were the ones blocking traffic, so we wound up having to move and get back in the line. And my buddy, as we were going around, or the person I was with, the person driving, screams like, "You fucking bitch," or something like that, right? So now we're in line. Well, right when we get up to the thing, we get jumped by a whole bunch of gangbangers, right? So we're in line, and so like the driver's side, the speaker to order your stuff is on. We get surrounded. Our car just out of nowhere. Dude opens up the car, opens up my door, and like we're like fighting and arguing. And so at first, I'm trying to think. At first, it was a bunch of cussing and screaming because the window was down, and we're cussing, screaming, talking shit. And he's trying to defend his girl and all this stuff, and like she's pointing us out and this and that. And we're young as fuck. And like I wasn't even old enough to drive yet. Dude was, obviously, because he was driving. Not like that means anything. But as they were surrounding the car, like they're arguing with us, dude tells his buddy to go get his gun and shit. And you can see like they got weapons, like they're not fucking around. There's like 5 or 6 dudes that are older and bigger than us, and surrounding the car. And then dude opens up my car door and tries to yank me out of the car. And I grab him and try to pull him in the car. But at that time, that would have been a great time, like if you had something, to claw the hand that's trying to pull you, right? Like he couldn't pull me out because I was just too strong for him to pull me out, and I'm pulling him in. Well, at that exact moment, the girl that started this whole fucking thing is blocking us from leaving. And my buddy's wanting to go the whole time, right? Like he's wanting to just squeal the fuck out of there, right? We're not trying to get shot for ice cream. And this bitch is standing right in front of the car blocking it. Well, finally, after my door's open and we're yanking each other back and forth, he decides to step on it. Bam! Hits that bitch. Bam! She goes flying over. Well, she didn't go flying, but she hit the hood and bounced off, and landed over on the side. But he hit her. And I applaud him for hitting her, because like, the fuck are you doing blocking our way out? When we're about to get shot, you're dumb. And at the same time, because, oh yeah, I forgot to say this part. He told dude to get his gun. Dude's running across the parking lot with a gun in his hand, like running towards us. Dude's got me trying to pull me out. So that's why he stepped on it and went to go, because now we got a gun in the situation. I'm fighting with dude. And there's like 4 other guys to the right. So there's 1 guy, 3 guys, 3 or 4 guys, I don't know, a couple bitches, and then the guy and me fighting in the doorway. So I'm pulling him in, he's pulling me out, we're back and forth. Dude hits the girl, right? Not runs her over, but hits her. She bounces, and I hung on to dude and dragged him down the road. Not far, but however far, not far at all, but enough to scare the shit out of him. So he got dragged a little bit, and then we got the hell out of there, right? They didn't chase us or nothing. I don't think they could, because they would have had to get to their car by the time we were already gone. But I couldn't help but think the other day in the comments that like situations like that, right? Like somebody's trying to pull you out of something, and all it takes is a claw, right? Because think about that, man. You're going to the bone with that. They're letting you go fast, so you're not getting pulled out of the car. And I watch a lot of videos on like active self-protection, and you see that shit a lot, especially like in the cities and stuff, where somebody literally will stop you from shutting your doors. You're getting in your car, and they're trying to pull you out of the car, right? Pull you out of the car so that they can steal your car or rob you or make you go back into your house, right? The scariest thing. And just having that right across the arm so you can shut your door and then get the fuck out of there or whatever. Or then get to your primary weapon if you have one. Is not a bad idea. But I just, it just went through my head when we were talking in the comments. I thought about it, like that would have been a perfect situation for a blade like that in my life. I could probably think of a few other situations that would have been an okay thing, but that just seemed like the perfect thing. That was the correct choice. Yeah, but it's funny though, because I remember, like everything went by so fast, but I still remember that bitch's face when she got hit by the car, because she was right there in front of us. So when we're in by the way, we're in a Pontiac Grand Am or Grand Prix, like a 94, 93 Grand Prix or something. And so the hoods aren't that big, so your face is right there, and you've seen the oh shit look on her face, like, oh shit, I'm getting hit by a car. It's like, well, yeah, you dumb bitch, you're blocking our path. And in my head you think like it's a girl, but in the back of my head I also think she started all this shit. She's the dumb bitch who fucking stole our spot, then calls her man and all his fucking, the whole fucking gang to come fight us or kill us for some damn ice cream. Like, you're crazy. And then decides to try to block the path. And I know it was like an ego thing. She was probably wanting to see her man defend her, which her man, like, she probably looked 16 or 17. He looked 30. Of course. But yeah, great times. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate it. I didn't think the hood would be full of cowards. I'm not sure who the coward would be in that situation. But yes, the hood is full of cowards. That's why it gets so violent. Usually it's not the brave that they get into shit like that. It's the cowards. Huge ass heavy door. Babies. Oh snap, had to do some high performers. Driving in a Grand Prix once. Pulled a nice drift move and killed the lights in the driveway to lose the chasers. Yeah, I've been there a few times too. I had two of them. I had one, the Grand Am, was it the Grand Am GT? And then I also had a Grand Prix, the Grand Am GT, though I didn't have any reverse in. I also had a Dodge Intrepid one time that didn't have reverse. The cowards would be the group of guys surrounding with also grabbing. Yeah, for sure. But that's, it's how it goes. But yeah, it's stupid. And the way I look at it, like being them, they would have been trying to jump kids in a way. My buddy was like 17, I was like 15, something like that. Give or take. But I wasn't even 16 or 17 yet because I didn't have my license. I mean, I know that for a fact. But and they were probably in their 20s or something. Give or take. But it's just, it's pathetic. But it happens every day, and people get killed just like that every day. People get killed for the dumbest reasons. It's all ego, and I've definitely been there with my ego too. So I understand it. But it's just weird though, like where you're in the right, but somebody else views it completely different, and you can't understand how they can view it the way they are. Like you're in the wrong. Like, and before we drove around and called her a fucking bitch, we had honked and yelled at her, and she wasn't moving. Like she was like, "What, motherfucker?" and all this shit with her hands and everything. And now we're blocking traffic, so we have no choice but to move. She doesn't have to move now. She took our spot, because like as the line's moving, right? You're like, there's this car. Now this car is already in the driveway, right? We're right here. So we leave a gap. Now we're about to go forward. She jumps in front of us. Now we're blocking traffic, right? It's like, so she doesn't have to move because she's not blocking traffic. She pulled in front of us right into the thing. It's like, it's just so stupid. Like how you can't realize that you're the bad guy, but I'm sure I've been the bad guy at times when I didn't realize I was the bad guy, but at that time, like, that's just obvious. But then again, you don't know how many fucking brain cells they have. So only time I had people chasing me in a car, I got to an open parking lot and just kept making circles at speed. They got tired of it and left. I've been in quite a few. I've been too many. It's almost like you're dealing with an 80 IQ demographic. Yeah, for sure. Oh man. Only time I have been in a car chase is the one following me have red and blue lights. I've been in many of those too. I've been in quite a few of those. Been caught in a couple. A couple. But I also got away a few times. I've gotten away a few times, especially on my motorcycle or my dirt bike before. But then in cars, I've gotten away a few times, but I've also been caught a few times. But sometimes you're just trying to catch the distance. Like you're not really worried about getting caught. You know, you're going to get caught. It's just getting rid of what you have. It's not even about like whether or not you're going to get caught. It's like, I just need time. Give me enough time, please. Give me some distance. Please don't see what I'm throwing out the window or stashing or whatever. Raise your hand if you have ever been in a city and escorted out by the cops because it isn't wise for you to be there. No, but I did get I got arrested in North Carolina, and I basically got arrested because I was there, but everybody that was in jail there was from out of town. Like they were busting everybody from out of town. It was it's called a tourist trap. What? Yeah, I said that. It was a tourist trap, so they were just catching everybody. And everybody locked up with me was all from like a mile away, which was the opposite town, because where it was no matter what, if you drove through this area, you were from out of town. So they'd get you from being out of state. And if you were out of state, you're a flight risk, even though you live 10 minutes away. So you're considered a flight risk if you're from out of state. And where it was, everybody was from out of state. So they'd get everybody. And like bail, like there's no 10% because you're a flight risk. Like for me to get out, it was like it was so much money for me to get out. Ridiculous amounts of money to get out. And it was crazy. What was sad was I was locked up with dudes that literally got caught with like a quarter ounce of weed and had been there for like a month. And it's so sad when you see somebody who should be getting a slap on the wrist and they're locked up and they're not getting out. And it's like, what the fuck? And it scares you too, because you're like, how long have you been in here? And then you find out what they're in there for, and it's like, for a revoked license? Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? You got caught with a dime bag and you've been in here for how long? Like, what the fuck? But then you start thinking about yourself, like, I'm never getting out of here. First time driving in New York City, I pulled up to lights. Cops knocked on my window and asked if I was lost. He led me out of the area. Yeah, I've definitely, known people that's happened to and things like that. Um, and then I've also been in the wrong parts of town and had like somewhat things happen like that where the cop is just trying to help you. Like, you shouldn't be here, but usually they think you're there for bad reasons. Uh, like I used to always get pulled over because of where I was at for being white and them thinking I'm going to buy dope and shit. So, and not saying I never was, but I worked in the area. I was always there. So it was just often you'd get pulled over or because you'd literally be turning the block and they would, because the same block has so many dope dealers on it and everything, they're positive you're buying dope. They're positive, even though you're working at the house, 2 doors down or whatever, and you're just pulling off the job site or something. They don't know that. So, uh, so then they get you, and then they're literally trying to get you to snitch on yourself for what you bought, where you at, and shit like that. And it's like, man, I'm working right there. But they usually don't like that story, so then they sit there and harass you, and uh, or if you're just pulling through the neighborhood, like because nobody just pulls through those neighborhoods. It's hard to convince a cop that I'm lost or I pulled off the wrong block or I'm looking for something. Like, they don't believe that shit because nobody's there for that reason. Nobody, like, they know like what you're there for. You're there for only a couple things, and none of them are a good thing. Yeah, I did a lot of home remodeling and renovations and shit like that. I did everything from anywhere from the ground up building to to remodeling, everything. And they're all houses like that, all of them falling apart. There's shitty houses to work on, man. The worst because they're old. They're basically have not been taken care of since the day they were built. So they're just falling apart. I remember I was on this one job and this was a really, really big house. I told the story about the time where I was up on a scaffold and I put my arm on the window and fell into the house because the window just went right through. Like, that's crazy. But I was working on this one house one time and everything, the thing was they didn't want, because we were doing siding. So when we were hanging the siding, the people did not want, because they didn't have the money to pay for new wood on the house, right? For you to anchor to something. So, but they were still willing to pay us to hang it, even though like there's nothing to hang to. Like, it's basically trying to put nails into styrofoam because everything's rotting, right? But it's, the house is rotting away. Like, we're getting paid to hang the siding, and we told them like there's nothing we can do if this stuff falls off in a week. Like, there's nothing we can do. We're still getting paid. Like, we don't really give a shit if that's what you want to pay us for. We're warning you now that we don't want to put our name on this job. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, you can't come after us. We put no warranty on it, nothing like that. Your house is literally rotted to the core and it cannot be resided. If we recite it, the stuff will be falling off in a couple weeks. And they still wanted it. And it was like, we shouldn't have took the job. We shouldn't have took the job because it was literally like, it's so difficult to hang things on there. So it's like, it sucked so bad, man. It was just a complete catastrophe. It's crazy now when I still drive past it, though, the siding's still hanging, which is mind-boggling to me. I don't know how. Chuck says, I'm not from Illinois, but I'm riding the 294 all the time. Oh, come on, Chuck. Crackheads are so fiesta. Anyone here of Brooklyn, Illinois, or Washington Park, Illinois? Emu Park. We had to fight with bangers and crackheads that didn't want to move out. Yeah, you see a lot of that with people not wanting to leave, like even after when the sheriff comes or stuff has to get put out. You see that all the time, constantly. There's constantly people having to get, they won't move out when they're supposed to or when they have to. So they literally wait up into the day the sheriff comes and removes them. And they stay all the way up until that day. Like they aren't going nowhere until then. And that could be a year. So if it's whoever owns the property and is renting it out, they have to put up with them destroying their house until then. And it sucks for anybody who owns a property. But it's like squatters' rights or whatever. Well, it does connect together, but yes, you got to have something. Right. It doesn't matter if it connects together because you still have to nail it, right? You still have to nail it. And you can put them all together. And if half of them are not, it's like, and you see it all the time. If you drive past houses and you see a piece of siding flying off or flapping off, right? It's because there's a few different reasons why that can happen, but the nail's pulled out though. And when that's the whole house, right? When you're getting like one every 10 nails to hit something, that's not good. Like I said, that was the same house that when I put my arm on, I was up like 30 feet up in the air on a scaffold and I rested my elbow on the window and I fell into the house. That was that same house. I'm from Wakena, Illinois. Just moved to Cedar Lake, Indiana. Not far from you, Jared. Nice. Squatters' rights are a real thing. Still in other countries. Yeah, I was watching, me and Kara were watching this person the other day. This will be the last little story and then we'll get out of here. But this is messed up. This is really messed up. Like I felt so bad for this girl. This woman decided to do like what's it called? A bed and breakfast type place, but with her own place, like renting a room out. Like she'd rent a room out for like 5 days or something, like a week or something. So she would rent out her place and she went out of town and was renting her place out while she was out of town or whatever. The person that came and stayed was supposed to be gone by the time she came back. She came back. This bitch is still in there and is saying, I'm not going nowhere. And she called the cops. The cops came. The cops said, there's nothing we can do. Right? She's got squatter rights. You're going to have to take her to court. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that and all this bullshit. And she's like, she doesn't even have a lease here or anything. She literally rented it for the weekend, and you can see the bitch the whole time walking back and forth. I ain't going nowhere. Like it's just being like the most ridiculous. She lit up a cigarette in the bitch's house at her table, and you can see the frustration of this woman, right? So let me tell you what I would have done, right? First of all, aside from maybe burning my entire fucking house down to get her out, like I would have did some crazy stuff. I'm not going to say the people I would have called to come and beat the tar off of her, but I probably would have went and bought me a 10-foot python and just let it loose, because I guarantee that bitch would run out screaming. I'd knock the doors off the hinges to the bedroom. There's no way you're having a fucking door in my house. Like, I wouldn't even have to ask her to leave because, you're going to leave, you're leaving, right? You're not going to want to come back. I'll go and buy 15 monitor lizards that are all 6 foot long, no matter the cost, and just let them loose. Let them loose. Killing each other. I don't give a fuck. You're going to leave. Oh, man. I would flood my own house. I would be doing like ridiculous magic tricks with fire in my own house. I'd be lighting fireworks off. Like I would do it at the detriment of my own property. Like, you're not winning this. Yeah, music would just be like that would be like just the beginning. And I'd cut holes through the wall into her room and put speakers facing in. Oh man, I can't even imagine the things I would do. Oh my goodness. I'd get my a whole crew of people. Everybody be just up in there. She wouldn't even want to come out of her room. And man, I can't imagine what I'd do. Like I said, I would set snakes loose because I know that type of person, and she is deathly scared of snakes. So I know that's one thing that she could not live in the same house with. She'd run. I know exactly her mentality. I know exactly who she is. I've had many of her as friends. So I know exactly how she is, and I know how fast she would jump out of the window seeing a 2-foot snake going across the ground, let alone a 10-foot snake. I got a friend who's got a 16-foot albino Burmese. Bring him on over. Bring him on over. Bring some rabbits too. We'll feed them right in the living room. Her? No, she'd run from it. She'd never even go near it. She'd run so fast. She would be trying to find out why the windows are screwed shut from the outside. Oh, man. And that's what would be really scary. Be like, oh, you're not going anywhere. Okay, perfect. As I'm literally drilling the fucking window shut from the outside, she'd be curious, like, why is he trying to lock me in? You'd get so scared over the things I would start doing. I'd be super nice. Super nice. Like, I'm actually glad to have you this weekend, actually, because I got a lot of plans. Like, I'm glad you decided to stay. This is perfect. I need a fucking babysitter. Oh, man. All the windows screwed shut. Fire hazard in my own house? No. Give me a ticket then. give me the fire hazard ticket. And she's screaming to get out. That whole bedroom, when she goes to the bathroom, it just be filled with pythons, and oh my goodness, I'd order so many. I'd have them just incoming, like from all different places. Crank up the heat. Yeah, the heat. Yeah. I'd move the thermostat so like she wouldn't even know where it was. Like she wouldn't even know how to turn on or off the heat, and it'd be like, yeah, $1.20 in there. I'd turn the water off. You can't even use the water. Fridge and food, that's obsolete. I mean, I don't know, like with squatter rights, like you're supposed to supply, like there actually is a thing against that stuff where you can't do those certain things. I wouldn't care. I literally would not care. I would do them all and take the charges and take them to court against the judge. And she's going to have to fight the judge. I'll fight the judge too. That's fine. I'll take those charges. Wouldn't care a bit. Because I guarantee the judge, to some extent, would understand and would probably drop the charges. Most likely. You know, when he hears the story of what happened, he would laugh and probably literally drop the charges. He probably charged me with like one of them. And like the easiest one that I could just pay a fine on. That I'd be smiling to pay. Right. Well, there is a thing. That's what I mean. There is a thing that they can't do that here either. So the power company can't do that to you. So in the winter in America, if you, at least in Illinois, I don't know about anywhere else, if you don't pay your bill in the winter, they can't shut it off. They can't shut it off until March 1st, I think. Don't ask me why I know the exact date, but I'm just it's like March 1st. That's when they can come and shut your power off or something like that. Maybe it's the next month after, but it's something like that. They can't shut it off all winter. So you can rack your bill up till then and then pay it off right at the end. Then they won't shut it off. But if you don't pay it by that date, so within the whole winter up until springtime, then they'll come and shut it off. Right. Yellow Jackets. Just, I would literally just out of nowhere become a bee farmer. This is what I do. Like, she's the one this is my career. I literally breed bees in my bedrooms. So I can't help that she's decided to squat. And you can't stop me from doing my career, which is beehive shit. I have bees all over my house. I love them, sir. I love them, officer. So she's just going to have to deal with them if she wants to squat here. This is what I do. I also breed reptiles. You know, it's just what I do. fuck, man, she'd be wanting to get out so bad. And I'd be just like, where are you going? The party just started. Oh, man. Seems like her breaching the contract ends up being the civil discussion. See as you. If things you do in your own home don't affect the rights she had under the contract, maybe civil stuff don't stay. Right. So there is going to be certain things that breach it, but that's what I mean. Like, I would take those to court. Like, okay, so I breached it. You can't keep charge me once. Okay, I'll take it to court. We'll be fighting the same charge. I don't give a shit. I would literally take it to court and then talk to the judge and explain to the judge exactly what happened. And I'm sure he would slap me with a little fine. And then slap her with an even bigger fine because she's the one being ridiculous when she was supposed to be just renting a room for 3 days. Not, that's like me going to a hotel. That's why you have to set things up certain ways because like say a hotel, right? That's like me going to a hotel and then trying to squat there and not letting them kick me out and claiming squatter rights and all this stuff. They have clauses against that. But like when you do like a bed and breakfast or whatever, it's different. Like you have to have certain things in the paperwork. And I don't know, she must not have. And this woman seeked her out for that exact reason because she was ignorant to it. I'll tell you what, I guarantee that was the last time that woman ever rented out a room. And she didn't seem like she needed it. Like she was doing fairly well. She just figured she was always out of town and things like that. Like, why not? I have an extra room, help people, right? But then she found out exactly why a lot of people don't do it or why that was probably her last time doing it. But the people that do it, they have a lot of things in the that you have to not just sign, but a lot of things you have to fill out and agree to before you go there. Now, like I said, I don't know how it works that with the people that have everything filled out. And then, because I'm sure the cops, when they came, they probably figured out that, yep, you didn't make her fill this out. So now she can stay here for like the next 6 months because what you have to do is you have to take them to court. The court case is going to take a month, just for the month or two, just to do the first part. And that's not even counting. Like I know squatters, like they can be in a property for up to a year without getting removed. That's crazy. And because I know lots of people who have done that shit. People that literally will pay the last month's rent, like they'll pay whatever it takes to get in, and that's the last time they'll ever pay. And then do the squatters thing for the next 12 months until they legally get them out of there, and then they'll do the same thing at the next place. I've known people like that. And yes, it's very disgusting. All right. Neevesknives might have missed it. What SRM knife were you talking about? I didn't say which one. I will be showing it here within the next day or two. Somebody asked me to get it in the comments, and every so often, quite often, somebody requests that I check a knife out and in the comments of a video, and I go and look it up, and it looks interesting, so I buy it. Just to should do it because it's been requested, and this one was requested. So I'll give you a hint. It's a titanium frame lock, and it's pretty damn sweet. So surprising that not surprising because they don't do bad knives. They're actually an OEM for some of SPYDERCO stuff, their overseas stuff. So and they do a lot of it. You would be surprised, like Rake, that's all San Remnu. You'd be surprised how many companies knives San Remnu does. So it's no wonder why it is such a good knife. It's very well done. You guys will see. But all right, guys, we're gonna take off. First off, I want to thank all the patron members. We are pulling that giveaway probably tomorrow or Monday. We have the Bang Gang live tomorrow, so it'll probably be on Monday. So if you're a patron member, make sure you watch the video to see if you won. If you don't, I'll contact you, whatever. But so we'll be pulling the winners too. Shout out to the Bang Gang squad. Don't forget, we have a Bang Gang live tomorrow at noon, 12 o'clock Central Time. And thank you to everybody who donated. You guys have no idea how much it helps the channel. We're able to do this because of you guys. So we greatly appreciate all the support, all the donations. money wise, knife wise, giveaway wise, all the likes you guys give us, all the comments, every bit helps. So if you guys don't mind, if you do like the content, please leave a like. I do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's joined me tonight and sat here and shot the shit with me. I love you guys. Thank you guys for everything. And shout out to all of the moderators who helped me out and, you know, get links and everything else. You guys are amazing. Don't forget, guys, if you guys want anything that was in this video, everything's, hey, Fiend, you son of a bitch. Shout out to one of the moderators right here, Q1 Fiend, jumping in with the 5 bones. I hope your foot is healing well. Thanks for the great live. Thank you, man. And thank you for the 5 bones. Thank you for being such an awesome moderator. And I forgot what I was going to say. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Peace.